I have a confession to make. I am a 48-year-old man, 48-year-old black man that's a hip hop head, basketball playing, video gaming gamer, dog owning amorist, and I have a lot of interests. And at this moment, with all that is going on in the world, one of the things that intrigues me the most is whether or not I still love Sex in the City as much as I did when it first captured my attention 26 years ago. It's not a joke. I'm not trying to start a trend. I'm not trying to become a hashtag. I'm not trying to be a part of someone's social experiment. I'm just genuinely interested in figuring out if I still like this show. I'm a huge Sex and the City fan. I should not be a fan. I don't identify with any of the characters in the traditional way, I guess. I'm not a white woman. I don't have, the power to demand entitlement. I don't have the protection of society to come to my rescue in any situation I may find myself feeling threatened in. Just a black guy from the South who one day found himself watching this show about 4 white women who live in New York City that have pretty much perfect lives, with the exception of not being able to find the perfect guy. It all started when my ex-girlfriend from high school had re-entered my life after being absent for like 5 years. And we were on the phone one night talking, reminiscing, memory laning it. And in the midst of talking, she was like, I need to call you back after my show goes off. And I was like, what show are you about to watch that could be more riveting than this conversation that we're currently having about how great it was when we were together, when we didn't know what love was? Or teenagers, kids in love, right? She was like, oh, it's a show you wouldn't like. And I was like, what's the show? She was like, Sex in the City. At that time, I was so into Hollywood and so into wanting to make movies and TV shows and be on TV. I watched everything. I looked out for everything, but I had never heard of this show. And I was like, what's the show about? And then she told me, and I guess I was trying to be evolved. I was trying not to be stubborn, trying not to be like in my head and think that, oh, if I like this show, then I won't be allowed to stand up when I go to the bathroom, because guys will be like, you can't stand up when you pee. You have to sit down because you watch Sex in the City. Once I got past that, I was like, I'm going to watch it. And she was like, are you serious? I was like, yes, I'm going to watch it. And I watched it. The show is created by Darren Star, who also, I believe, Melrose Place and Beverly Hills 90210, I believe. Also Emily in Paris on Netflix right now, I believe. And Michael Patrick King also had an instrumental hand in it, and it's based off these books by this lady, Cindy. I know I'm gonna get it wrong. I'm gonna get it wrong. I'm gonna get it right. I want to get it right. I don't want this woman whose work I admire to think that I'm not a fan of her because I don't know her name offhand. And it's not because I don't care. It's because right now I have slow internet and it's not giving me what I want. But it's based off a lady named Cindy Last name starts with a B, and I apologize because I haven't read the books. But the show is based off these books, and I just watched it, and I was hooked from the moment I was watching it. The music, do 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 do, and then you see City of New York, you see the cars passing, taxi cabs, Skyline Bridge, Brooklyn Bridge, all of like it gives you, boom, this is a character. New York City is a part of this show. Like know that they go hand in hand, and then all these pictures and images of Sarah Jessica Parker, who I was not familiar with her work as well as I am now, because I didn't watch the show for her. I was watching it because my ex was like, watch this show. So I did. But even when I watched it, I didn't immediately recognize her. I recognized Kim Cattrall, but I didn't recognize her. And I didn't recognize Cynthia Nixon either, who played Miranda, and Kristen Davis, who played Charlotte. I didn't recognize her from anything really noticeable or whatever. But I remember Kim Cattrall, and I kind of vaguely remember Sarah Jessica Parker, but they put Sarah Jessica Parker at the front of this. She has this tutu dress on with a tank top or whatever, and a bag and some heels, and the bus goes by and splashes her, with the bus having an image of her on the bus and her column that she writes, because she writes a column about sex and dating and living in New York City as a woman and being single and stuff. I'm on board. I get it. Shouldn't be on board, but I'm on board because what's being offered, I can look past the fact that I don't relate to any of it, but I want to see where it goes because I like New York City. I like the fast pace. I'm interested in dating. I'm interested in love. I'm interested in figuring out how women think and what women think about men. So I'm watching this show. I'm hooked on the show now. She introduced me to the show in '99, 2000. So that I came in on season 3, but before season 3 started, I went back and watched the first 2 seasons to catch up, so I could be current. This was before streaming. This was before apps on your phone where you could just go and be like, let me watch this whole 2 seasons. I had to like wait for HBO to replay them all. Didn't get on season 3. I may even bought the DVDs for the first 2 seasons. I can't remember, but I do own them. But I went back, watched them on season 3. Couldn't wait for season 4. Oh God, season 5, season 6, the 2 movies, and that's where I stopped. I stopped after the 2nd movie, but I'm a huge fan. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to rewatch this show from the beginning, and I'm going to compare the fashion and the music and the issues at the time, what was going on in the culture, and what was going on the other side of town for black people or black women, without speaking for them, just my experiences, what they were going through and how much different it was from what they were complaining about, but also how some of that stuff is similar without overstepping my boundaries and speaking on behalf of women. Jesus Christ, I'm not doing that. I'm just saying I want to examine the show that I fell in love with about 4 white women who had it all but was complaining that it didn't come in the bag they wanted it to come in, or it didn't come in the exact size they wanted it to come in, or it didn't come in the color they wanted it to come in, or it didn't live up to their expectations. And they're complaining about it, and they're mad, and the universe is against them because why can't a beautiful woman like myself not find a man to give me everything I want? life is so unfair. I mean, I don't know if that's exactly how they would say the show is, but that's how I saw it. So from this point forward, I wrote a blog about me being in love with the show, right? I'm going to post that on my Substack and on my website. But more importantly, my Substack. I'm going to post this on my Substack for people to read. And then I'm going to watch the pilot episode either today or tomorrow. I'm going to do a write-up on it. I'm going to record myself discussing the episode. It's like all those other TV shows that y'all watch. Real Housewives of every city there is where women are married. And their reunion shows and their after show. There's a show where people talk about what they just watched somebody do. And then they have a reunion episode about getting together to talk about what they watched somebody else do. Moranzia, you're getting off subject. Also, they break the fourth wall in the first 2 seasons of the show. It doesn't live long, but they did it. Wasn't a fan, but I'll talk about it after the pilot. So just know that this is a thing that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to write about the episodes, what they meant to me, what I saw. I also would like to I'm going to write about where would I fit in these 4 single white women's lives that I adore in this show. Where would I fit in? Would they embrace me? Would I be Stanford? Or would I be Skippy? Right? Or Skipper? Like, where would I fit in? Where would a black guy in his 20s fit in the lives of 35-year-old white women trying to find love in New York City? Without assuming, I want to figure out, I'm going to write an episode about what I believe an episode would be like if I was in their life. Yeah. So in conclusion, there's a blog about what I just discussed. Then you can watch this. Then you can also listen to it if you want to, because I'm going to upload it as a podcast also. I don't know what the name of it will be by the time I post it. Right now, I'm just in the moment. If I had thought about everything before I did it, I wouldn't have done it because I would have overthunk it. And it never would have gotten done. So, boom, 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 boom. I had to start somewhere.